I know lots of you have not seen me on here for a little bit, but I thought let's go and do a Sunday chat. Of course, I'm going to be doing this Sunday chat early because I need to. So because tomorrow I will be actually at a market. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to do the chat. Anyone can watch this at a later date because in the US, some of you might be asleep. And of course, in Australia, lots of you might be at markets and so on. But anyway, like I said, I thought let's go and just do this chat all about Shopify because lots and lots of people have been asking me all about Shopify, exactly how it works, and all of those little bits and pieces that, you know, we all need to know about Shopify. So I'm just going to be talking from myself on Shopify. This is all just my own opinion. As I always say, I am not a legal expert. You know, this is, so a little disclaimer. This is not by Shopify. I'm not paid or anything like that. This is just what's helped me. And I thought if I give you my figures and so on Shopify, maybe then it will just help you a little bit. So it's probably not going to be a normal super long video, but I thought I'm just going to give you a couple ideas from there, and I'll give you a couple people that I watched at the start to help me with Shopify. So if anyone doesn't know what it is basically, your website. So they're a hosting company where you can have your own website. And I've used many different companies. It's not the first one I've used. It is definitely, about the fourth, I think, that I've used. So, but I have to say, and once again, like I said, I'm not paid by Shopify, but I have to say, in regards to Shopify, it's been really good for me, and it honestly has, made my business zoom. When I actually had other platforms, I just feel like their SEO wasn't very good, which is their search engine, what picks you up and so on. Oh, hi, Mark. How are you? Welcome to our Sunday chat, but I guess it's Saturday chat kind of in between, isn't it? So, so I thought I'll do Shopify because lots of people are still messaging me, asking me about Shopify. And, of course, it's something that we all sort of want to know. And as I was saying, so Shopify is, it's basically a platform where you can sell your products and you can sell lots and lots of different products on there. And they also have additional apps that might help you if you want to pay for the additional apps, which in general, I don't actually pay for them at all. I just keep the basic Shopify, and but then I do have two websites. So I have my main website, which is nelsonsopry.com, and then of course I have the conference one. Now the conference one, I do pay for an additional app because people are buying tickets to come to the conference, so you do need to have an app to be able to sell the ticket. So that is a little bit different, and that honestly, that was more work going into putting the app on and so on. But luckily for me, my husband is an electronics engineer, so he actually helped do that. But even he said that was tricky to get on. So I thought, I'll just say that bit as well. So yeah, so like I said, anyway, we're going to be talking about Shopify. I'll tell you my figures as well and how it has worked for me, and I hope that this really is going to help everybody. So, and the great thing that I do like about Shopify, which I've printed out here, so these are just, some stats. So when you do Shopify, it's not just a matter of, having your website going and them hosting it. What it actually does is gives you a bit of a background. So I'll tell you a couple of things that I personally like about it the most. Number one is the analytics. There's so many analytics that you can find out. You can find out like where people are coming from, if they're coming from social media, the times they're coming, if they're a first buyer, a last buyer, how many times they've popped onto your site before they actually even buy anything. And that's one thing that I like because that's very interesting, because that has to do with, like your conversion rates, which are super, important. Oh, thank you, Roslyn. Yeah, it is. Shopify is very, I just thought, look, lots of people ask about it, and it is an important topic. And I think, when I read a lot about Shopify, the main thing that I do see when people talk about it is they just tell you all the legal jargon and all the, how to do it and everything else, but they don't tell you why. And so for me, it's not really, I guess, I'm not showing you exactly how to do it, but I'm just talking about the benefits, I guess, more of Shopify. and hopefully I can give you a few tips, and then that can kind of get everyone started. But yeah, so the one thing, like I said, that I like about it is the analytics and so on. So you can see, you know, what your conversion rate is, where people are coming from, the time they're shopping, what they're buying. That's actually a really good tool as well. You know, like how many people are, for instance, if, you know, somebody puts a soy candle in the search, or once they go onto my site, then you can go, okay, maybe I need to change the way I've written something so they can find it easier. So if somebody, for instance, was typing in pink unicorn, then maybe I need to put tags of pink unicorn onto things that are relative to pink unicorn. So that's kind of, you know, just something that I've found really interesting lately in particular. So like I said, you know, we'll kind of go through a few of those things. We'll also go through the dashboard, the emails that you can have with Shopify, and so on. So I do have my notes as per usual. So let me go to the back of my notes, which I've written a few things. So now when I first started Shopify, honestly, I started it, I think, 4 times, because every time I started it, I went, this is so hard, I can't do this. And I just literally went away and then came back later. And then I thought, oh, look, I've just got to do it after the 4th, 5th, 6th time. Because honestly, when you go on Shopify, it's really daunting. Honestly, it is very daunting. And, you know, I hear all these experts that I think are computer whiz people, and they say, oh, it's so easy, easiest platform to use. Garbage. I'm going to actually call them out on that. Absolute rubbish. It is not that easy. You need to do a lot of work. You need to watch a lot of videos, a lot of tutorials to be able to do it. But once you have the main idea of Shopify, you'll be able to do it forever. You'll be fine. But at the start, it is really daunting and you just feel very overwhelmed. So that is the one thing that I'm going to say. So anyone that tells you it's easy, they're obviously a computer expert, or they're really used to doing this. So like I said, I'm going to say that's not true. But anyway, like I said, there's a few different things that we'll sort of look on. So there's one particular guy that I did watch at the start that I really liked. Yeah, oh, hi, Ron, you did get to watch me live. Thank you. Thanks for stopping on, love. Because it's not my normal Sunday chat, people will probably be, I presume, would be logging on later. Lots of them are going to log on later, but that's okay. That's fine. I don't mind who logs on or who doesn't, but it's nice to see anyone that comes to say a big hello. So, like I said, so on YouTube, there is one that I watched, and his name is Dan Vass, V-A-S, and it's Dan, D-A-N. And he was really, really good. I really, really did like him. And I thought that was a really good one as well. Oh, you can, yeah, you can get people to help you set it up. I know you can, but a lot of people want to do it themselves, Mark. So if they want to do it themselves, you can. And like the main thing that I'm going to tell you is when you watch these videos, and that's what I did. I actually watched these. Then I slowly went into the Shopify bit, and then I was like, okay, I was good. And then there was another lady that I actually found on one of the soaping groups, and she was so beautiful. She actually said, let me log into your computer, I'll help. So she actually helped me. So I was really, really grateful for that. She just helped me at the start. But, you know, make sure you know someone. Don't just let somebody log into your computer. But, you know, I knew her through other groups. So anyway, but she was beautiful, really nice to help me. So, and I wanted to do it on my own. My husband could have done it, but I went, no, I want to do it. So, and then he just came in to help me at the bits at the end. So anyway, like I said, Dan Vass is a really good one as well. Oh, hi, Carol. Welcome, lovey. Welcome to our channel. I know it's a Saturday, but we'll pretend it's Sunday. And in the US, it's probably Friday still. So yeah. So anyway, but it is a 2-hour tutorial with Dan, but it's very, very good. There's another company as well called Metrics Media, and I really did like them as well. And they do one for beginners, and it's real basic. So so that's really good, and you can kind of get your pen and paper, or even sit on Shopify and do it, and pause the video as you're going along with Media Metrics. So yeah, so Metrics Media, sorry, that's what they're called. So yeah, so just go on to them and see how you go. So now also the one thing I was going to tell you is there's different there's different I don't know what you call them. You know, different themes. So the theme that I use is called Brooklyn, and the reason I like Brooklyn, and many people use Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn's probably about 70% of the most popular one, and it's free. It's not you don't have to buy the Brooklyn one, but I do like that it has a little tab along the top, and that tab can be your tab where you can change it, so you can write sale and so on. So yes, you can write, all these kind of things on there as well. Sorry, I'm just looking at some twit that has written something on my video, which I've had that numerous times. So if anyone writes anything rude or whatever on there, just ignore them, because you're just giving them power to keep being an idiot if you say anything to them. So anyway, so now I just thought I would say that, because the worst thing about having social media and YouTube is sometimes you get people that just say inappropriate things. And anyway, I thought I've got to put that out. If that idiot is on there, I'm not going to respond to you. So, thank you. Thanks so much, Paula. Thanks so much. That's so nice. Yeah, I know my dad used to call me a superstar. Oh. Anyway, so we're just going to ignore that person now, and I will be blocking you and reporting you, whoever you are. So anyway, we're going to get going back to our Shopify. So now on here, like I said, I use Brooklyn. That is the one thing that I do use, and which is really good, and I really love it. It's easy to use. You just pop in your own pictures, and I don't have a photographer that does my pictures either. I just do them all on an iPhone. And the best advice I can give you on an iPhone is, if you actually, have an iPhone, just go into your iPhone and use the portrait, because it kind of blurs out the background and it makes it look really professional, just like if you had, a special sheen or something on as well. Yeah, Paige, I know lots of people tell me how hectic it is and how hard it is. And it is. It really is. It can be really tricky to navigate around Shopify. But, this is the thing, isn't it? Eventually, you'll kind of figure it out. But, I always say, just don't rush it too much. Give yourself time. And it took me a couple weeks before I was live. And also, you can get like a 14-day tutorial, like a free kind of thing. But the free thing is really not what I call free, because you can't actually load it and people find your website and all of this. Like, it's not really like that. Really, that 14 days to me is to set it up, get it all ready, and then pay and launch it, because you can't do everything when it's free. And it costs about $37 Australian, maybe $30 US, because we pay more here because our money's not the same as the US. But anyway, so I thought I'll just let you know that as well. So hopefully, that kind of is a little bit helpful. So now what I thought I'll go through as well is my analytics in here as well. So when we actually talk about analytics on Shopify, it will give you like this paper here, which is kind of, goes through everything, honestly. So I thought, let's go through this, because this might actually help some of you understand why you might want to use it or why you may not want to use it. And the main thing for me is the SEO. So the search engine, I really feel it picks people up better. Now, I'm going to tell you, my other sites that I had as well, sometimes I was only getting $100 a month, if that, on sales, like hardly anything. But I do have to say, you got to compare oranges with oranges. And obviously now more people know me through YouTube and Instagram. So I do get a lot of people that actually know me now. So, that is a little bit, that's the only thing that's kind of a little different, I guess. So if we go to, when you're looking at your analytics, it gives you what's called an overview dashboard. And on that, so all you do is click into analytics and it will tell you what you're earning. And so it will tell you month by month. It will even tell you day by day. You can just go and change the dates in it. You can find out year by year, which is really handy for tax as well, because you can just go, okay, this is what I've actually earned. So that's the one thing that I actually did really like. So if I talk about myself, for instance, we're going to go from the 1st of November to the 1st of December, remembering this is also Christmas period and some of these are wholesale. So in that month, I've taken $5,361.56. And that has actually told me here that my sales have gone up 167%. So that percentage is pretty high, and the reason I would think would be not just for Christmas. I think most of that is because it's wholesale. Once I started wholesale, it was really, really different as well. I did definitely get a lot more orders. So that's just something to think about, isn't it? And you can actually, so even if somebody, they might contact you and say, hey, I want this, this, and this, but can I collect it? Then what you can do is just make them a draft up, and you can actually make them an order up and save the order in the system and invoice it to them. So send it to their email. So that's really handy. I've done that with a couple people. And then I still like it to be in Shopify because it still adds up my numbers. So that's what I personally like. And so then this paper will tell you, you know, what people have spent online direct, what they've spent with a draft order, which means an order that you've made yourself, and also Shopify mobile or iPhone. So it's telling you, you know, what are they paying, what are they using, iPhones or not. And, you know, this is the thing that surprised me. I actually thought, I really thought like 90+% would be people using their iPhone, but they don't. It's saying here, no, it's definitely not like that at all. So it's not as a bigger amount as I would have thought. So it's like 151% are on a computer and the rest is on an iPhone. So it's still not as high as I thought. I thought almost everyone would be on an iPhone. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting as well. And then it will give you your conversion rate. So you really want your conversion rate to be like 2 to 5%. Mine's definitely not that high. And the reason my conversion rate's only 0.77%. And the reason mine is that, I think, is because I'm on YouTube and I get a lot of people just going on there and just checking out my site, which is more than fine. I mean, I welcome everyone to go there, get ideas, and go from there. So sometimes that can actually make your conversion rate a little bit different as well. Like if you're on social media and they're just checking out who you are. But it's still really interesting to have as well. And then it will say, like, so for instance here lately, because we're in Christmas, it's telling me how many things have been added to my cart. So it's saying, 3.67% has been added to the cart, but they have not been purchased. But often what I do is have people add them to the cart and then they'll come on the shopping cart 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10 times, and then they'll purchase something. So, so that's what I thought was really good as well. Oh, Amanda, yeah, you're in the middle of trying to figure it out. Shopify does take time, and that's what I say. I watched all these different videos, and also down the right-hand side of Shopify, which you've probably seen, it has lots of videos, and they are really, really helpful. If I'm going to give a bit of, you know, a con to Shopify, I actually think that they're, hi, Eve, how are you, sweet? I do think that the only complaint that I can say is I think their customer service isn't very good. It's very hard to get a hold of somebody, almost impossible actually. So that's the one complaint that I would have. If I can have one complaint, and I feel bad to say that, but that's the truth. So yeah, getting onto them is very difficult. So now when we talk about, so then it will also tell you like your sessions that are being converted as well. And it will tell you like how much that is. And that also might have to be to do with your email. So if Shopify have a thing which is like an email system. So all you do is go into what's called campaign. There is, so you go, you know, to your online, then you go down the side, which is on the left, and it will say campaign, and you click on that, and then you want to say email campaign. And that means anyone that signed up to your email list, you're going to send them out a campaign. So it might be Merry Christmas, you know, we have these new, for instance, pretend I'm going to talk about this. We might say we have these new unicorn candles, you know, check them out and limited or whatever. So that's something you might put in the email, or new products coming up, or discounts, and you can see how many people are clicking onto that and buying. And I have had people actually buy from that email, click directly into it, because you put the links in to your site. So it means they're going directly. So if I was to put this unicorn one on, which by the way is not on my site yet, I'm about to do it. But when I put that one in, it can link directly to that. They can buy it and that's it and all done. So, you know, sometimes they are kind of the handy things that you can actually, get on there. So anyway, hopefully, you know, like I said, hopefully that helps a little bit. And like, so now I thought I would talk about the top products for me that people are looking for, because that's really important. Because, there's no good having, 10,000 different scented candles if no one's even logging on to look at those candles. So, and you know what? One of my most popular candles is one that I call the Mango. When I say popular, I mean for people to link onto it to look at it. But it's only ever made one sale in the whole time. So that's funny to me that a lot of people look at it, they open it up and go to that, but they don't buy that one. Oh, what package would you say? Amanda, get the cheapest one. I don't get anything else but the $30-odd one. You don't need the other ones. The only thing, the middle one, the one thing that I do like about the middle one means you don't get charged fees with Etsy, but you're paying more. So really you are getting charged fees. So like it's $30 to I think $79 or something. But the $79 one means that the fees and all that are waived, but realistically you're paying that. But if you were selling like $20,000 a month, it would be worth it. But for me, it's not worth it. Like even with this $5,000 that I've sold, if I work out my fees, it's still less than it would have been to have that $79 one on, if that makes sense. So so I would always say just start with the cheaper one, and the fees aren't that much. It's a couple dollars, and this is what I talk about all the time. In your products, you need to allow what's called wiggle room, and it means, like, for instance, if I sold this for $20 and I'm only making $6 on the candle, well, there's not enough wiggle room to pay for fees, shipping if shipping's more than you thought it would be, things like that. But because I do add price, the right price onto my products, if shipping's more, then I can pay for it. So I think I did say in another video, I did a wholesale order for a customer in a different state to me, and it was over 1,000 candles. Not candles, bath bombs. And I thought it was going to cost me like $100 to ship these. I thought that was good, but it ended up costing me $410 with Australia Post Business. And that's with the discount. And it's because bath bombs in, massive amounts, they are heavy and weighty, unless I could have got a pallet from a different company, but I didn't want to, because Australia Post has never broken my products, never lost a product. So that's why I use them. And yes, it costs more money, 100% it does, but I have what's the word, I don't know. I don't like the other companies, let's put it this way. So I've used a lot of different ones and not happy as well. Oh, thanks, Carol. Yeah, it's a pretty candle, isn't it? I'll give you guys a look up closer. This is the candle. It's so sweet. I get asked for unicorn things all the time. And I design all my labels on Canva, which lots of you probably know. But if anyone doesn't know, just go and look onto Canva anyway. But yeah, so like I said, there's just so many different things that you can find that are really good. But let's go into the top products that people have looked for. So at the moment for me, I've had a rise of 50% in people looking for soap. And this is wholesale. So I do sell a lot of wholesale soap. I'm often sold out because I just can't keep up with soap. And then after that, the next thing would be what's called my birthday party soap. So, and that's because it says birthday party and people think, oh, it's a party, what is it? And then they buy the soap. So, but yeah, so, and this is the one thing I'm going to tell you, even though people have searched that, I think I've only ever sold 2 bars online. The rest have been sold at markets for the birthday one. But clearly, the word birthday is something people are searching for. So if you have that in your product or have that tagged in your product, it's a really good one to have. So, if it was like bath bombs, that's like a pack, that'd be a good birthday bath bomb pack or something like that. So you could definitely give it that name on your site. So I just think that is really good. But please don't be putting any official names of other companies. So, don't write Disney or Cinderella or anything thinking, oh, well, I'll get more people because I've got those names. Don't use that, because then you're using copyright names. So definitely don't use that. Try and use your own names. And, as we all know, there's been many people caught out at the moment thinking they've done nothing wrong, and they're probably not meant to do anything wrong, but they've used a name that has been used somewhere else, which is really hard because, I always think that, I could be calling one of my products something someone else might have been, and I think I'm original. So, you just don't know, do you? It's a real sort of grey area. And also the other thing that is up in my analytics as well is bath bombs. and Wholesale, because I sell a lot of bath bombs. So, and honestly, anything with the word unicorn in it is a seller for me too. So, and I do a number of unicorn things, and I always laugh. I think it's probably because I have 5 daughters. So, but my little grandson Xavier, he'll often go for the little unicorn because it's colourful and bright and fun. So that's what comes up in it as well. So now let's go into the next part of the analytics, which talks all about your traffic source. And the good thing with this is it will tell you. So for instance, if you're getting a lot of people from Instagram, then maybe Instagram's something you need to concentrate on more because it drives people to your site. So, for instance, when we're coming here, it says I've had 696 people direct to my site. So that means that they're going there. And now I've talked about this before. I know you can do like have your own little shopping carts on Instagram and Facebook. I don't do it for the one reason, because if you do that, then people just click onto that and they buy the stuff. I want to drive people to my site. I want to make them go to the site. I don't want them to buy on Instagram or whatever. So that's why I don't put the shopping cart on there. It's purposely done to drive them back. So because number one, it gives me all the analytics. It just makes it less messy and so on. And that's the way I want to do mine. So if you want to drive someone there, you've got to think of the reason why you're trying to drive them to that as well. So like I said, the direct source. So let's talk about that. So social media, I get a lot of people from there. So 332 are from social media. 277 are searching. So they obviously have searched Nelson Sopery. But when you first start, you're not going to have that because they don't know you. At the start, I had no one searching for me. But over time it does. And then it says emails. There is 2 people that have bought from my emails. So emails are worth it. 2 sales are 2 sales, aren't they? So that's definitely something. And, you've got to make sure that you're seen on social media as well. So hopefully that kind of helps a bit here. And also, like, YouTube is, for me, now I'm going to tell you this, actually. For YouTube, I get a lot of people driving to my site, but a lot of people, like I said, they're soapers like me. They want to see how I've done it. They want to look at your products. I do the same, and it's fine. And I do have lots of people buy from YouTube, but if I look at this directly, this is telling me on YouTube only $259 in sales were bought from customers on YouTube, which I know is not exactly true, because I do have people that just search me or go direct to my site. So that way YouTube's not kind of like, if you just clicked on my link in my bio and went there, then it would say, okay, they've come from YouTube. But if I give you my name and you just go to my site direct, then YouTube doesn't know that. So then it's kind of not exactly true. I would say maybe about $700 is from YouTube this month. That would be my prediction. What made me choose the name Nelson Sopery? Well, my surname is Nelson. I actually, I'm married. I've been married for 17 years. But I kept my maiden name because my husband's name was not a pretty one. So I said, sorry, ain't going to happen. So I kept my maiden name. My dad's name's Nelson, and that's my name, Nelson, as well. So that's why. And you'll see a lot of my things say Nelson Interior Sopery because I'm an interior stylist. So, and that's why I had it. But now I'm not. I just do soap and candles. That's my business now. So that's why. And then I just thought, look, I'm just going to leave it with the interior in it. But a lot of things are just Nelson Sopery. So, and I've had to pay a number of different ones for that as well. So, yeah, you got to laugh, don't you, Carol? I love my husband, but his name just isn't pretty. So it's not going to happen. So, and he's fine with it. He understands that too, So anyway, you just got to laugh. So yeah, so that's why I chose Nelson Sopery. But, and look, lots of people would choose, names that are kind of fun. Like there's a company called Da Bomb, which I think that's a great name. And there's lots like that. But it doesn't mean that you have to have something with bath bomb or fizz me or something like that. You don't have to have all those fizzy or I don't know, bath bomb or soapery kind of names or bubble names. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have that. But I think in your logo, you do need to have soapery or something to represent it. And that's why my logo says soapery, so people still know it's a soap company. But yeah, because it's no good calling yourself Green Leaf and everyone thinks, oh, is that a nursery, like a Greenleaf nursery company, or because they can't sort of tell. But if you have soapery or bath bomb or something in the name, it is kind of better. I have mine underneath the logo image. So yeah, and then it does say here, because we're at Christmas, that my report is up 11%. But, you know, like I said, after December, that's going to go down again, I presume, because, you know, that's the one thing that we've got to remember. We are in Christmas period. So, and December, I haven't done the analytics, but I think off record, I think it's about 3,500 I've sold roughly in December up to now, which, what are we up to, the 11th? So, yeah, so, you know, that's probably going to beat November. But, you know, it's all just, you know, it's relative to the time of the year, isn't it? So, yeah, and then it says my average order is $335. And the reason it's $335 is because I have wholesale orders of $1,000 or whatever that boost that up. So, yeah, so that's really different as well. Oh, okay, so your husband came up with that name. Yeah, that's really good to come up with different names. And you know what? If someone loves you, they love you. They don't care about the name, honestly. They just find you. But the good thing I liked about Nelson is it's a really easy name. Because, you know, there's actually a soaper. I love her, and I really love watching her. She's just amazing. And I think she's in Canada in the French Isles or something over there. And Adriana, I think, is her name, but I can never pronounce her name, and I can never remember her company's name. And that always made me think, well, I need to have a name that's easy to remember. So that's why I thought, even if somebody speaks in another language or they're a different culture, they still will be able to understand Nelson because it's simple. So, yeah, because it's only like 5 letters. So that's my reason behind it as well. So you kind of got to think of that. The name's too long or too short. And it's the same as, you know, you look at all these companies like Lush. I mean, 4 letters. People remember. Easy to remember. So that's why they come up to Bomb. Another one, it's easy to remember. So there's just a lot that I always think are easy. You know, if you look at Coles and Myers, they're all simple, easy, one-word names. So, so that's what I like. And even though it's Nelson Soapery, people just see the Nelson. That's all they got to look for. But anyway, we're getting off track. But I just thought I'll add that bit in as well. And so then it tells me here in this month, my sales are up 67%, which is a lot. So, yeah, so I thought, you know, that's really important to kind of think about how your sales are going. And if your sales are plummeting, you kind of have to look at it and go, okay, why are they plummeting? Is my products not as good? You know, my photo's not good, because it might not be the products. It usually isn't the products. It's usually the photos and such. What about BP Designs? If you've seen it before, I wouldn't use it. Yeah. What do I do to track my sales? This is all on Shopify. So everything I'm giving you is Shopify. This is the analytics on Shopify, and that's why I like it. Also, for my inventory, I don't use a separate inventory system. I want it all in the same system. So I use Shopify. Once you load your products in, there's a thing that you can click on. So you can click on like sell even when it's sold, even when there's nothing less, keep selling it. But I don't do that. I actually do mine where I'll only list what I have. So for instance, if I have 5 of these candles, I list 5. And when someone buys 2, then Shopify is going to tell me you only have 3. So that's my inventory system. It tells me what I have left in inventory, and then you can go into inventory and you can make what you know you're running out of. So it's really good to be able to tell you, you know, and I don't want to pay for all these other inventories. It's all in the same price. It's no extra. It's still in like the $30 fee. So that's what I like. That is a really big that was a huge selling point to me, to be able to keep the inventory. And you can write in it. So say, for instance, this cost me $10. Then I could write, we'll pretend I'm going to sell this for 20. I'm not, but we'll pretend. So if this is $20, we can say, okay, it's $20. It's cost me $10. So then it will tell you your profit is 10. But if your profit is less, it will tell you your percentage of profit and so on. So you know what you've made, but you also know what your profit is for the month. So, and that is super important to understand the profit part as well. Oh, you want to do a wholesale one? Yeah, I get lots of people doing the mixed Wholesale. And up to this stage, I've let people choose. So even if they get 500, that's the most common when I sell 500, and they'll get 500, and usually it's just I just put in all different ones in there. But I have actually let people choose 100 of this, 50 of that, and whatever. But going forward, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I think it's just you're going to order mix, and it's just the mix. You just get what I put in there, because it's for me now, like, wholesale's become quite big for me now, and keeping up with all the different emails of people doing that is a bit tricky. So it's definitely easier for me if people just order the bulk. And I mean, look, it's better for them as well. Yeah, do I do market sales as well? Yeah, what I actually do in market sales, I often I don't put the market sales in it, but I have a separate bit of paper, so which I don't have on me, but it's just an A4, and I've typed it up. And then I have a section that says, candles, whatever. Every time someone buys, I write it in the list. And that's really time consuming. But if you have, your POS machine, which I actually use Square, you can actually already type the products into Square. So then at the end, Square will give you a reading, and you can remove that from your list. So when you're doing markets, it's really hard. But I think 2022 will probably be my last markets, because honestly, with this, I'm just too busy. I don't think I'm going to be able to do markets as well as this, because honestly, it's just not enough time for me to be able to do that. So I don't know, unless I end up hiring someone to do the markets for me, because at the moment I'm working 7 days around the clock. And even with my dad being sick, and when he passed away, I still had to, work around the clock, because people still want their stuff, regardless of your situation. They still want their products. So that's the one thing you've got to remember too. You're a business owner, and people are funny like that. So, I know that's unfair, and it seems really unfair, but that's just the way it is. It really is. So, yeah. Anyway, so, and then also one thing I do like is it will tell you on here as well, your location and so on here. So you'll be able to see who's buying. So from here, it says to me 701 people from Australia have gone onto my site. 342 people are from the US, and 85 from the United Kingdom, 27 from Canada, and then it doesn't tell me the others, but I do know there's other countries on there as well. But that will give you the main input of who's on there as well. So, and it will tell you, like, whether it's up, whether it's down. At the moment, 25% is up in Australia. You're only human. That's right, Carol. So you just got to do what you can do, don't you? So, but, look, this is the tough gig about business. I'm going to say this, which I know we're going off Shopify, but the tough gig about business is, regardless of your personal life, generally people do care. They're like, oh, that's really sad. But, oh, thank you. Thanks from the US. But, they do think it's sad, but at the same time, they want their things. They're paid for their things. And, you've got to understand that as well. So whether I liked it or not, you can't, this sounds terrible, but I just don't think you don't have time to grieve until later. When terrible things happen. And my dad would say, hey, stop whinging, get on with it, sell the products, keep going. So, you just can't sit there and cry. Of course, I've had sad moments, but you just have to get on with the job, because you're a professional, you're a business person. And you know what, if I turn around and said, I'm going to close shop for 6 months, well, they'd find someone else, because they still need the product to sell. So you have to be realistic. As heartless as that sounds, you do have to be realistic, and that is the business world. It really is. So anyway, I thought I'll put that bit in, because I have lots of people saying, oh, I can't believe you're back, can't believe you're doing it. But you have to. I own a company. I can't just not. If I had other workers, you'd get them to work for you. But of course, I've been in and out of the hospital with Dad and everything else. But like I said, you still got to do all these other things in the meantime as well. And also, now let's get on to the next bit, which is how are people spending? So this will actually tell you, are they coming directly to you to spend? Are they searching? So if I look at this, my direct sales, it says $3,639 are direct sales. That means they're going directly to my site. They know what my site is. And a lot of that is from markets when I give away business cards. I've always got my website and everything. So so they're coming to that. And people that have searched for my name, Nelson Sopri, they've spent 1,119. And then social media, it says $602 has been spent from social. And that means they might have seen me on Instagram, click on that and go over. But I do have a lot of private messages on Instagram with businesses wanting to use my wholesale products. So that's something that you get as well. Oh, from London, you're about to set it up, Sophia. Yeah, I really do suggest Shopify. And like I said, honestly, I don't get paid. I don't get any benefits or nothing from talking about Shopify. It's just that, look, I've used lots of different companies that have just basically I've spent money and got nothing back. So Shopify definitely is. But, you can't just, look, at the other time, you can't open a Shopify and just hope it's going to work. I mean, you have to do social media. And I get people all the time that say, I'm no good at it, I can't do it. If you're no good, either you need to pay someone to do it or you need to learn to do it. I didn't have money to pay someone, so I had to learn. I was honestly researching every single day. I watched so much YouTube. I still watch YouTube every day. Of all different companies, and I even watch back on my own things to think how I'm going to better what I'm saying or what I'm talking about. So, because I'm learning every day, just like all of us are. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully that's kind of helping. And then it will also tell you what's your best loading page or landing page, which for me the front page is up 13%. It says so. And then if I want to look at this, it says my bath bombs in bulk to buy the 50 bath bombs, that is actually up 108%. So that's pretty huge. So that means people have seen me on social media. They've gone onto that page where I put the link, and that's where how they're buying as well. Oh, that's fine, Sophia. Yeah, it's fine. Like, definitely look into it. And I do suggest that, take the free option, the 14 days to start with, because it would take you more than 14 days to set it up. Because you don't want to set it up and it looks a bit rubbish. Make sure you set it up good, and make sure that your front page is a consistent color to your logos and everything. So for me, I'm never going to have a bright red thing. Even if it's Christmas, you'll never see a bright red front page on my loading page. It's always going to be like pink or rainbowy, because my colors are pink, gray and white. So I'll always stick with colors that are on that, even though I do other colors, but you need to stick with that to make your brand consistent. So there's no good putting a bright green picture if your brand's purple, because you need to have something purpley in it if that was your brand. So hopefully that makes sense. How did you set up my wholesale? Well, what I actually did, Tracy, that's a good question, because Shopify, you often need different apps and things to do wholesale. But what I decided to do, I wanted wholesale to be really different to anyone else, because I've had a shop before, and the most annoying thing when you actually have a shop and you want to do wholesale, you've got to fill out all the forms, you've got to do all the credit checks and everything else to be able to buy wholesale. And I thought that was so annoying. And so what I decided to do on Shopify is I thought, how about I'll just, in your collections, I did one that I call bulk buys, which is my wholesale. And on the front loading page, I actually did a link, and that link says wholesale. So they can click retail, which says shop now, or they can click wholesale. If they click wholesale, it takes them straight to the collection of business buys, and then they can buy it. So I don't offer pay later. They have to pay up front for everything they are buying. And then once they've bought it, I make it and I ship it out. So that way you're not waiting on money. You have the money. You know it's paid for. There's no chasing anyone for money. There's no forms they have to fill out. It's simply they want it, they pay for it, you make it, you send it. So to me, that was a much better business model than hoping somebody will pay, because I've had it in the past where, you've actually done things, and then what's happened is people said, oh, I'll pay, and then 5 weeks later you're still chasing them for the money. So I didn't want that headache, and it also causes a rift in your in your customers to yourself, because then they get cranky because you're asking for money, you get cranky because they haven't paid you, and it's just a downward slope for wholesale. So I suggest, if you're doing wholesale, especially if you're a small business like me, that you actually do make them pay upfront for their products, because waiting for the money or chasing actually adds more money for you, because it's time chasing them, and then often you have to get a debt collector, and then that's just disaster. So anyway, so that's exactly how I've done mine. So that's, and mine's different. There's not many people that do that. Most people make them fill out forms, sign up and whatever. But if it came to it and I had too many orders, then you can go into Shopify and put a stop on it. So you could put a stop on your wholesale if you did. And at the moment, like I said, I'm working 7 days a week around the clock, some days 12 hours a day to get the orders out, because once Christmas is over, it's not going to be as busy, because I've had people that will probably just buy one lot and then they might only buy again at Christmas. But then I do have other customers that have said we're going to be buying all year round. But some of them, I've had people buy like 100 bath bombs, and they're actually making gifts for their clients. So it's just a Christmas thank you gift. So that's why that sort of part of it's been super busy too. And a lot of soaping companies say to me, I don't want to make bath bombs, they're too hard. So they actually buy them from me and put their own blank label. So I allow a blank label, which means you're just giving them a blank product, which might just be like this one here is a blank product. So it means there's nothing on it. They're just getting the candle. And then with the candle, they're able to, just put their own label on. And you're allowing them to do that. So that's something you have to be okay with. If you're not, you need to put in your terms and conditions that they must buy your label on it. So anyway, like I said, that's something else as well. And then in this, it will tell you, also it will tell you like whether people are using a tablet to find you, a mobile to find you, desktop. So, as you can tell, these analytics are amazing. Also, online, it will say, your sessions by social sources like social media. It'll give you a report on all of that. And then your sales attributing to marketing. So if you've got sales, which means people, on your email and you have a sale, it will tell you how many people are buying from the sale. Now, I'm going to tell everyone this, and I know you're going to be amazed. Do you know when I actually have a sale which says 30% off or 20% off, I actually get probably only 2 orders from it at the most. I get more orders when they're full price, which always amazes me. Even when I give a discount, it's very, very rare that someone uses the discount, because people think, what's wrong with it? Why are you having a sale? Is it broken? So that's a funny thing. And I always find that super duper interesting that people generally buy more when there's no sale. So isn't that interesting? I mean, that really does intrigue me on why, they're sort of doing all of that side. So that's a bit, like I said, about my analytics for the month of November to the 1st of December. So I hope that it has helped people understand a bit. And like I said, do log on to those other 2 guys that I gave you the name of. And what are they? I'll tell you again. And they are on YouTube, and it's called Dan Vass, V-A-S. And so he's got his own channel and he talks about it, and that's a 2-hour video. Goes through everything, which is really good. And another one called Metric Media, and they also go through Shopify for beginners. So that one's a good one for beginners. But Dan is the one that I watched, and I watched the whole thing back and back and back so many times before I actually got it. But now I don't need to watch that. Once you understand, what you want to do with it, then you can just keep going in and changing things all the time. And you can even change, your shipping. But a lot of it, now that I've set up the main bit, which I used a computer, definitely use a computer. But once you've set up that, then a lot of things I can actually now just load from my iPhone. So, like I said, it's all from the iPhone. And before we end this, I do have to say a hello to somebody really special, a young man that watches me. His name is Hunter. So hello, Hunter. He is just a little gem. He's a young teenager, and he looks out for my videos, and he loves the music. So hi, Hunter, and thank you for your flowers. Hunter did send me some beautiful flowers for my dad. So I thought that was really lovely. So a little hi to him. Do I use Sendal for shipping? No, I don't, Tracy. I don't. I decided to use only Australia Post, and I know it's more expensive, but I have Australia Post business account, and that means you just get discounts the more you send, and it definitely costs more, but I've never had a break. I've never had an issue. But before, I used many freight companies, always broken, missing, just an absolute big headache. So, but I've never had anything broken. The only thing I did once have a mermaid tail broken on a soap that I sent to Texas a long time ago, but that wasn't Australia Post. That was once it got to the US, they snapped it because they opened the box to see for customs. So that's how it got broken. But I've sent candles and everything to the US and never broken. So yeah, so that is why I use Australia Post. If you're in the US, I don't know how good your American postal is, or the UK or Canada, how your postal is, but for me it's really good. The only thing, unfortunately, is I've had to charge a lot of money for wholesale because wholesale costs a lot of money to ship things. So maybe, I think in 2022, I might be looking into, for my big wholesale customers, to ship in pallet loads, because the pallets might be cheaper for my wholesale customers. But yeah, so that's something I will look into, but I haven't looked into that because one of my customers in South Australia, she did say to me, if you actually put it on a pallet and do your shrink wrap right around all the boxes, then it will get to them and it's much cheaper for them, because otherwise they're going to be paying me $450 for a $5,000 parcel. And I know it's expensive, but if you look at mine, it works out to be about 10%. So my postage is about 10% for people doing that. And also I have to tell you, so anyone that buys from me retail, I give it to them free once they spend a certain amount. But with the retail, it costs me around about $15 a parcel is normal. So yeah. Oh, I've thought of everything, Carol. Yeah. Well, you just, at the start I didn't, but things come up and then you learn different things that you're doing right or wrong, and you kind of go, okay, I'm going to go from that. So, yeah, anyway, but hopefully everybody has enjoyed our Saturday/Sunday chat for today, and I will end this in a minute because I have to pack up because I do have a market in Mornington tomorrow. So anyone that's in Mornington along the bay in Victoria, Australia, come and give me a hi. Oh, you do give American Postal a thumbs up. Well, that's good to know. Oh, a thumbs down. Oh, they don't care. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's a bit sad. In Australia, I've honestly never had problems. And you just put the fragile tape, and they're very, very careful. And so many people have said to me what good condition the parcel came in. But I do wrap it really well, and then most of them go into a bag. So if it's small enough to go into a bag, it also goes into a sealed bag, and then it goes into a box. So, if you can do that, it's really good. Oh, you're welcome, Sophia. No problem. Thank you, Carol. I will take care of myself, and I am feeling better, everybody. My dad has grown his wings and flown away to a better, pain-free place. So I'm okay, and I want to thank everyone for the flowers, because my house it looks like a florist. There is so many flowers that have come in daily from people on YouTube, Instagram. Wild Emery sent me something. They're beautiful. Thank you. And as I also said, Young Hunter and his gorgeous mum did send me some flowers, which absolutely beautiful. So yes. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Thanks so much. And my dad would be absolutely amazed with everyone with the love. From Croatia, hi, Sweet Pea. How are you? Welcome. And if anyone hasn't seen it all, just watch it back. Go on to those other guys that I suggested for Shopify, and let's get making. And I really hope, fingers crossed, I want you all to make some money and get your little businesses off the ground, because you can do it. You can do it. I did it, and I'm just an average small person with a very tiny house. I don't have anything big. I'm not wealthy. So, yeah, so you can do it, but it takes a long time, a few years. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, until next time, bye for now.